people who work with their spirit in the true meaning of the spirit, the true meaning of the spirit is recognizing the spirit in everyone. And when you start to recognize that we really are all one, you have to be kinder as a human being. You have to be better as a human being. You have to work on yourself because you know you cannot change anybody else. But the wonderful thing is when you work on yourself and you're kinder and you're better, the world is better to you. It's just an automatic reaction. It doesn't mean that pain will disappear because life is all about pleasure and pain. It's just the way it is. But what you will start to recognize is that really it's just, a kaleidoscope of events in your life that make it really interesting. Because without the painful moments, where would the pleasurable moments be? And without if you had pleasure all the time, you would be very sick of it. You know, my master used to say, if you love chocolate, oh, I brought chocolate for everybody, please have some. Okay. My son brought so much chocolate. So I said, we'll share it with everybody in the Sangha. If you have 1 piece of chocolate, 2 pieces, delicious. 3, 4, 5, 6, 20, you get sick. So it's like everything else in life, when we overdo, we get sick. We just get sick. And this is why whatever designer designed our life was really quite clever. It wanted us to be on our toes, to constantly be creating. But we forgot about the creation. We got involved in self-pity. And we got too involved with ourselves. This is really the problem. We're too self-involved. And you know, when I was really sick 4 years ago, or 5 years now, and I was, after I'd come out from the operating theatre, and I was in intensive care, I remember the whole night long, I heard this voice saying to me, I know I sound really kooky, forgive me. Saying to me, you must let people know that none of it's personal. This is the lesson this generation has to learn, that none of it is personal, that we take everything too personally, and we must let go of this personal attachment. Things happen to everyone. No, nobody's punished. It's not personal. It's just a movie, you know, it's a movie. And, you know, if you want to get a really good part next time around in your movie, make sure you really act well this time around. Because our energy will go from movie theater to movie theater, from planet to planet, depending on what our mind is ready for. And if our mind is so clogged up with negativity, we have to go to a planet which understands that negativity, right? Or we have to go to a body that understands that negativity. Oh, there's a questions and answers. Okay, thank you. So, are you too hot? Or are you fine? A little too hot. Yeah, that side is hot. Yeah.
Yeah, take it off. Yeah. We're okay with it, right? Yeah, it's okay.
This side's fine because they've got the window.
Somebody else was saying they were really happy being hot. I can't remember who it was now. Was it Divya?
Yeah, but I'm warm now.
Okay.
Yeah. Divya, if you just put that on your lap, and if you feel the room getting cooler, then you just put it on.
The same here. If it gets too hot, let me know. I'll take it off.
Yeah, just put it in your lap so you don't have to disturb anybody. Thank you, Divya. I really appreciate it. So this is really the power of our mind. This is why all the spiritual masters say, you know, your mind is just the instrument. It's just an instrument. If you really realize that you are spirit and soul, if you really understand it, then you will use that to adjust your mind, fine-tune your own mind. Because as you think, it becomes, it is that way. It is that way. If something goes wrong and you go, oh no, why not me? I remember days before, why me? The days before yoga, you know, I remember get up in the morning and the dishwasher is broken. I go, oh my God, now the day is going to go wrong. The day is going to go wrong. And of course it did. You pull a drawer and it breaks. Well, why me? I'm so busy. Then I go to work. Oh, the staff has left, so I have to cancel my lunch because I have to work over lunch because the staff's sick. And I felt really sorry for myself. And the more I feel sorry for myself, the worse things got. Until the situation in mind was, you know, why is this person punishing me? Because I believed in those days as a God, as kind of like, not ever as a person, but some kind of force that was speaking on me. Picks on everybody too, by the way. And until I started yoga and I realized the power of the mind. And power of the mind is just connected with the power of the universe. So if our minds change the way we think, our lives can change. So next time around, get up in the morning, something breaks. Oh, one bad karma gone. So I know today is going to be a good day. And guess what? It would be a good day, because one bad karma was over with, you know. I must have done something to put something wrong, and I was just getting back my own result. And when one takes personal responsibility for actions and reactions, then there's a peace that settles in. Not only is there a peace, there's a logical flow of the mind. It's logic. It's really logic if you think about it. I was saying the other day, and I think it was the other place, Spa Floresta, we were speaking on Thursday, right? If you want to have, for example, use the same example, a quinoa salad, okay? You think in the morning, I really want this for lunch. It is the thought that will make you boil the quinoa and then buy the avocado, buy the beetroot, buy the hummus, put some lemon juice and make it a delicious salad. But if your mind didn't think it, would you do it? You wouldn't do it, right? You just wouldn't do it. So this is the power of the mind. It is really very simple. I mean, it's no science behind it. But you see what's happened because we've been so brainwashed that we're such complicated beings and that we have to know so much in order to live a certain way that we've forgotten the magic of our own minds. It is magical. Of course, in the beginning, when you start, you've got such a backlog of anger, fear, all this kind of stuff to deal with. This is why it's so difficult to meditate in the beginning, because of the backlog. And this is why the science book, Sri Patanjali tells us, practice for a long time, without a break, and all your heart. Because if you don't practice for a long time, you can't get rid of that rubbish. It's stored inside of you. So this is why beginner meditators, why would I want the peace? It's going to take some time. I'd be lying to you if I didn't say it would. But along with the meditation, of course you have to change your way of thinking. You just sit and meditate and think it's going to disappear? No. The reason why you meditate is to be able to see what comes up in your mind. What thoughts are you thinking? Like I saw myself. Of course, I'm having all victim thoughts. Poor me syndrome. My life is going to be poor, isn't it? It's good because I'm thinking this way. And oh, I'm so lucky. This went wrong because this is going to go right. Yeah, I'm rich. Do you see? It all starts from me. So there is nobody punishing us. The gift that we have been given from the universe is this gift of how to use our mind. That is the best freedom we've been given. There's no other freedom that we've been given. We cannot change our destiny. If I fall down right now, and I did the other day with my granddaughter, bang! The only thing I could make is I could have hurt myself really badly, but because I was with my little special needs granddaughter, and her leg went like this, so I tripped over her. Trying not to hurt her, the only thing I could do is protect her, and also from my dance days, know how to fall. So I fell the right way. You just hurt this shoulder a little, but I didn't damage myself. You see, with knowledge, you can protect the outcome. That's all I'm saying. It's not that you're not going to fall. I probably was deserving that fall, but I could protect myself from the outcome. My son goes, Mom, you really fell beautifully. Isn't my dancing days? You see, they come into use, everything. And then I go, and also the desire not to fall on top of my granddaughter. That was my first thing. I'd rather fall than fall over her. I'd rather fall the other way. So, you know, so that's how the practice of the mind helps you. Rather than fear at that moment, it's just very logical. Because you've practiced so long, right, making your mind logical, immediately it won't think about itself. I'm going to fall, No, none of that, you know, I've already fractured both feet. My son was worried about my feet, that's why I'm saying it. Mom, is your ankle okay? Is your ankle okay? Yeah, no big deal. Because you practice something for so long, you see everything so differently. That's the power of the mind. So the situation is the same. But the outcome is the different because you have changed the way you react to the now, this moment, which is the only thing we can do. We can't do much more. We can only change the how we react to this moment now. And this is why Eckhart Tolle speaks about the power of now. For that reason, if we change our way of thinking now, we protect our now. And if we protect our now, as Buddha says, if you want to know your future, look at your present. If you want to know your present, look at your past. That's what you need to do. So if your present is miserable, know what you did to create this. But if you want to ensure a good future, change the mind now. Change your actions now. And then you change your character. It's not that you change your character because you're all born beautiful. This is the teaching of all spirit. That everybody is born divine. The only thing is the mind got a little sick. We got a little sick. You know, we talk about physical sicknesses, we talk about emotional sicknesses. For me, my work is, they call me a spiritual doctor. I talk about spiritual sicknesses, you know. And what are your spiritual sicknesses? Things that people can't really see. You know, when you hurt people unnecessarily, when you cause harm, when you lie a lot. These are all spiritual sicknesses, because then you harm your spirit, because your spirit is truthful. You, as all the yoga books say, the essence of all of us is truth, knowledge, bliss, absolute. When we live in truth, there's no disturbance in the mind. It's just, the truth is the truth is the truth, right? But if you lie and make up stories, you will never, the mind will always be fluctuating. Knowledge. If you have knowledge of the soul, you're sorted. Because when things happen to you, you realize your spirit going through a physical experience. So there's not going to be too much upset in your mind, because you will just accept this is an experience. It's a human experience. And I'm here to experience all kinds of human behavior. Isn't it quite interesting if we do? It's quite interesting. We live in a very phenomenal world with many interesting, incredible human beings. Incredible. I was just telling Audrey about this woman in Gibraltar, Gisela. She's German. She's been doing this for years. She does bioresonance. Any of you know bioresonance? Yeah. She's quite incredible. You know, I've been having a headache for a long time, and I don't take anything for it. It's just there. I just pass it, you know. Anyway, so I went to her. You go to a doctor, they'll give you medicine, they'll give you this, brain scan, this scan, da. Okay, so I went to her and I said, Giselle, anything to worry about? She said, no, you got a headache. It could be your energy fields. I said, yeah, I think it's that. So she said, I'll get rid of it in half an hour. So bioresonance is it's all electrical inputs through vibration, right? So she puts these two metal things in my hands, and I'm not really believing it's going to go away after it's been there for weeks and weeks and weeks. Within 20 minutes, she comes in, how's your headache's gone? But that's not possible. She said, you're a good subject, it works really well, the vibrational field. But literally, I said, Gisela, I should have come to you weeks ago with this headache. It just disappeared, you know? And this was on vibrational fields. So, you know, there's a lot to learn in life. There's so much to learn with the power of our mind. There's so much to grow that, you know, when your mind is small thinking, we don't grow, we don't watch all the creative things there, we don't watch all the clever people that live in this world. We're so concerned about how we appear to the world that we miss out on all the play of other people's plays that are so interesting and so full of fun, including our own. And if ours should, you know, merge with them, even more fun. And we miss out on all of that because our minds are constantly, I, me, and mine. It's ours. The world is ours. And yes, of course, sometimes you can think I, me, and mine. It's okay to think like that, so long as it doesn't hurt anyone, give some benefit to someone, yourself included. You know, so people tell me, oh, I'm so busy, I can't go for a massage, I can't go for this. And why? Because then, you know, see, if you don't look after yourself and you are not happy, you will go home blaming everybody else for your unhappiness. But if you take a massage and give yourself 1 hour and you go home, you'll be light and easy. And everybody will say, wow, why don't you go for another one? We'll make time for you to go. But we always like to be, we think sacrifice means giving up looking after ourselves. And that's so wrong, that's so misunderstood. And I learned this because I used to be one of those people, you know. And when I was in India once with my beloved Guru, Sri Swami Sotogrande, and I remember I was staying at the ashram and he was staying at his nephew's house. His nephew had built a whole wing for him there because his nephew is very wealthy. So anyway, I was in the ashram and I heard all this, we want to see Guru there, but we can't. He's having a massage. Why would a Guru need a massage? Look at the small thinking of people. Huh? Why would a Guru, he should look after us. We've come all the way from all over the world and he's just seeing us once tonight. So small thinking. And I'm listening to all of this. I don't know how to answer them, right? Keep quiet. And I'm really upset by it, you know? So he calls me. He said, Nalanie, will you come for tea? So I go and sit with him, and the moment I sit with him, I sit on the floor and he's sitting on the chair. He says to me, you know, Nalanie, I've just come out of a massage. You know, I working every day, so when I come to India, my son owns a nature cure. He does, his son does, his nephew. And he goes, so I take this massage because my body is so old now, and I have so many people to serve. And if I don't look after my body, I cannot serve. And if I cannot serve, I don't want to live. He told me that twice in his life. He said, I have no reason. My body's told I like to go. I'm only here on this earth to serve. So I went back to the ashram. And I said, all of you sit down. I have something to tell you. You were speaking about the massage. This is what he said. Of course, they all felt so ashamed. I said, no, it's not your fault. It's just, you know, you also made me think. So I said, the wonderful thing is I walked there and he's answered my doubt too, because I was listening to other people too. You know how you're torn when you hear something and you don't believe it, but you start to believe it. See, the mind is very weak. We're very fickle. I'm glad I'm not so fickle now. The practice makes you feel that way. The practice makes you strong, and it makes you understand that everybody is different and you don't judge by anybody else but what you feel inside. You know, what is good for one person may not be good for another person, and you have to know that by yourself. So that's the power of the mind. That's the power of the mind. And why do you have to know that for yourself? Because we all have different bodies, because we have all different minds, and because we have all different karmas. There's no two of us that have the same karmas. So if we base our life on other people's actions and reactions, we will go wrong. One thing we can base actions and reactions from other people on are their mistakes. I learned a lot from my patients over the years. I've seen them do this action and they get this result. No, not doing it. Thank you for teaching me this. You know, I'm never going to do that. You can learn from other people's mistakes and what they do with their lives. And then you go, you don't have to make the mistake yourself necessarily. Sometimes you do when it's a big issue. You do to shift the mind. You need to make the mistake. But once you get a little bit of knowledge, you don't. You learn by watching. And this is what my master taught me. After a while, reading a lot of books, and I got so confused. This one master says it this way. Whoa, so much more mind stuff. I went to yoga to get rid of the mind stuff, and I was more information, so cluttered the brain. So I called him and I said, Gurudev, I am so confused. This master says it this way. This master says it that way. What is it? And he just laughed. And he goes, now they throw away all the books. Throw away all the books. At least for 6 months, because he knows my nature. I love books, you know. And so I said, really, Gurudev, for 6 months? He said, don't read. Study life. Study life. And I took him seriously. I really didn't read for 6 months. And I studied life. I think those were the most, it really educated me. I studied people, I studied faces, I studied hands, I studied movements, I studied everything. I would sit in the airport for hours watching different people. Hours. And people go, how do you travel? In the early days, I traveled a lot alone to grow. And that's all I did. Carry no books, use my mantra, and study people. And really, you learn so much by studying people. Best books and everybody's so interesting, by the way. Even though some people tell me their lives are really boring, I have not yet met a boring life. Even a tamasic life. I'm so lazy. It's really interesting because I know I never want to be as lazy as you. They teach us something. They teach us something. So if you see life, the power of the mind is so incredible. It really is how you see it. And really understanding that you are not the mind. The mind is an instrument for the soul. And yes, one sometimes spoil it, sometimes act a little spoiled. Nothing wrong. Gurdjieff used to say, if you're not mischievous once in a while, it's going to be boring. He said, a marriage that is so perfect, and doesn't have an argument once in a while, there's no juice. There's nothing to make up for. So don't take everything so seriously. Don't take everything so personally, and just let the mind relax with it, And when you're having a bad day, the easiest thing to do is to admit it. I'm having a bad day. When I first started yoga, same thing. I was so silly. I was like 34, 35. And I'm practicing yoga for 1 year. Much better than I was the year before, but I didn't know anything. But I started to think I'm a little clever, So I get a little stressed and people go, oh, Nalanie, you look stressed today. No, I'm not stressed. No, I'm not stressed. Do you see? And then I looked at myself in the mirror. I said, 3 people have said that to me. I must be stressed. So, and then I learned, accept it. Next time somebody said, no, you look stressed. I said, yeah, I'm working on it. I am working on it. I am stressed, but unnecessarily stressed. A little stress is necessary when you're working in a business. It happens. You need that stress to get going, to get inspired sometimes. And you do. You have to reach deadlines. And I used to have a business with deadlines. But there's negative stress and there's positive stress. And the stress that was negative is not good for you. The stress that is positive is exciting sometimes, Oh, we got to get all those garments to the fashion show, and this is, everybody do your job, And that kind of stress is interesting, it's exciting, it's creative, because you're performing actually, and you want the performance to be good. But the nasty stress, getting irritated, getting uncomfortable and blaming everybody else, that's terrible. That is horrible stress. But it's only by admitting it that you can cure it. So, nowadays they have EFT. Have you heard of it? Emotional, what is it called? Is it? Yeah. So if you want the website, I keep getting emails I can forward to you because I have no time to read it, but I learn from other people. My sister does it. My son, I sent him the website. He read it and told me, yeah, it's pretty good, Mom. Shanti does it. I'd love somebody here to study it and give it. I have no time to study it. But so far, I've had so many people say it's helped them. So if anybody would like to study it for 1 year and then teach it, it's fantastic. And if you want the website, I get emails from him every day. Or I give you his name, Nick Ortner, N-I-C-K. So apparently, what he does is they tag certain, certain, meridians, right? And they admit what is wrong first. They admit what is wrong first. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yes. And then after they admit what is wrong, then finally, after 3 times, is it?
It depends. It goes like decreases till you feel no effect from it anymore.
Yeah.
And then you do a positive one.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
Positive outcome.
Yeah. So they admit, I accept that. For example, I accept. You start here. You were saying, I accept that I get irritated quickly. I don't like that I get irritated quickly or something like that. And then you say, I don't like that I get irritated. Don't like. Yeah. And then you see, once you're comfortable that you don't like, you don't resist your don't like. Do you see?
Yeah.
You don't resist it anymore. You accept it. It's like the stress thing I was talking about. I didn't have to tap. I did the tapping in my mind. You know, I'm saying, I'm not stressed, but I'm really stressed. So the moment I accept it, I am stressed. Doesn't matter. It's nothing to do with being spiritual or not. It's how to deal with the stress. The negative stress is not good for me. The positive stress, people call me stressed and I'm positively stressed, no problem. But I am negatively stressed. I need to accept that before I can grow out of it, before I can help myself. And that's how you deal with it. You accept it. When you accept the problem that you have, that's 50% of healing. It's 50% done. Just accepting it. And that's the power of the mind. If you have a constant problem in your life, accept this is the problem. Accept this is the problem. And if you can't find a solution, accept you can't find a solution. What do you do if you can't find a solution? For me, it was simple. Everything passes, wait. But then I've been told, I've been born, this is gift I've been given from birth. I didn't create that. That must have come from a previous lifetime. I'm naturally patient. I'm naturally patient, but I see most people aren't. So what do you have to do? Develop patience. I don't have patience either. Develop. How do you develop it? Develop it. That's why you got the problem. That's why you got the problem. That's why this is your problem, because you haven't developed patience, so you keep getting the same problem again and again and again, till you have to develop patience. And once you accept, okay, time will heal. I've done my best, I've done everything, I've tried every solution. Let go, time will heal. Problem goes. Normally it goes. I've seen it so many people in my life. And that's why they say the moment you let go and let God, it's okay, it works. But to get to that point is not easy. It's not, because now you're talking about having strength. You're talking about having faith. You're talking about so many other issues that you still have to sort out. So, do you have doubt? Do you have faith? Do you know who you are first? Do you have strength? Do you have courage as a human being? Are you a coward? If you're a coward, you cannot grow in this life, sorry. You have to be brave. You have to confront situations, especially the situations in your own mind. That's where you handle them. And then, do you believe in yourself? Do you know you're divine? You know, you have to deal with all these issues, and then you can cure any problem. That's the power of the mind. But know the mind first. Know yourself really well first. You want to do a study? Don't study other people's faults and other people's problems. Study yourself. It's the best thing you do. I tell all my patients when the first time they come to see me, and this is too much mumbo jumbo, the spiritual stuff for them, because they don't even know what it's about. Too much. So I tell them, okay, I want you to go home and make a list. All your good points. I don't have any. Oh, come on. You must have one. You can't be that pathetic. And they'll write down one, then they'll write down two, then they'll write down three, and on the other side, all your negative points. I had one person wrote 2 good and like 20 negative. So I said, why do you think your life is so miserable? She looked at it. Because of these? Yeah. So is there anything you can do to change it? I asked her. Is there anything you can change that? I said, it's really incredible. She wrote it down. She goes, everybody tells me I have these bad qualities. I said, bingo. And you haven't heard them. And she goes, no. So what do you have to do? I asked her. Train these 2, she said, the good qualities. That's all you do. You train the 2 good ones, and when you train them, they will overcome the bad ones. You know, we have the Bhagavad Gita, and that's the analogy. You have 100 bad guys, and you have 5 good guys with great qualities. And the 5 good guys are able to defeat the 100 bad guys. And that's really what goes on with our mind when you first start. And then when people can see it so clearly listed in front of themselves, this is why I always recommend to all my students, keep a spiritual diary. What is a spiritual diary? A spiritual diary is talking about your own personal battles that are so deep down you talk straight to that, your anger, your fears, everything. That's your spiritual diary. You know, what can I do to change the way I feel now? We had one girl who's actually doing teacher training at the moment, and when she first came to me, which was 2 years ago, she wrote, I remember that she kept on saying, I can't change my thinking, I'm negative, I'm negative, I'm negative. And 2 years later, she's not really sorted, but she's really 100% better. And for the first time last week, she actually admitted she's 100 times better than what she was. That's the start. That's the start. I said, that's brilliant. Maybe some people take 2 years. Depends on your backlog. Some people take 10. Some people take 15. Some people just don't manage to complete it in this lifetime. But the more control you have, you can notice the better your life becomes. Personal control. You cannot control anybody else. The better. You can see it. You can see it. And it's exciting. It's really exciting when you get there and you go, oh my God, I would have reacted like this. Like some of my students, when, something happened to their car in the early days. And they come back to me, oh, Nalanie, somebody smashed my car. Normally I would have screamed and shouted and we would have had a huge argument and insurance and court cases. He smashed my car the other day. And I just thought when the guy came, I'm really, really sorry, No problem, these things happen. Give me your insurance. He said, so smooth. The police came. Everything was sorted in 10 minutes. Yeah, you see? That's how it is. It's how you look at things. And they get so excited. And we had Mitra, do you remember? He bought this beautiful video camera, beautiful. In fact, he's speaking with me tomorrow. This is about 20 years ago. He bought this beautiful, really expensive in those days video camera, took it on holiday, got stolen, right? It got stolen. He came back and came to talk to all of our Sangha members and said, do you know, I love this yoga. He said, normally I would have been upset. It cost me over £1,000-something. It was my tax rebate that I used to buy it. He said, I would have screamed and shouted. And then, oh no, it wasn't his tax rebate. He would have screamed and shouted. He'd use something, his bonus to buy it. He used all his Christmas bonus to buy it. He said, but I accept it, that I lost it. I tried to find it, got stolen, accept it. The following week he came back to us and he said, you're not going to believe it. What? His tax rebate was exactly the amount of the camera. And he came and told us. He was so excited to see his enthusiasm. I'll remind him tomorrow of this story. And to see everybody in the room see his charge. Because he had really let it go. He really loved that camera. And he got it right back. Because he wasn't bothered. Do you see action? Just, you no longer need that lesson. The universe, you might as well have it. And it's not only him, it's a few other people as well. Another one, Lakshmi, and she'll tell you this story one day herself. One of my earliest students used to have a phobia for spiders, right? And one day I was doing satsang like this, and then after satsang she comes to, I'm holding a spider in my hand. This is a miracle. It's gone. I said, yeah, it's really exciting that you can control your phobia. You can control your fears. It's a really lovely feeling. What happened? What shifted? What shifted? Obviously, the more you feel in tune to nature, and I had a phobia for everything, and now I live in a country with spiders and cockroaches, and I went to Nepal, lived in a room with all kinds of bugs in the room, and I slept and nobody else did. And I had the one with the most fear. So, and you go, where does it go? Because when you connect more and more in meditation with the spirit, Master Shivananda, that's Master Shivananda, used to say, fear leaves you, anger leaves you. Why? Because you expand your space, and then you start to see that it's all creation. Different vibration, but all creation. It doesn't mean you like them. I still don't like cockroaches, but I can be in a room with them without screaming like 100 times. There's a cockroach. Let's save it. Get my bug catcher. I have a bug catcher. That doesn't kill them, just sucks them up. Have you seen them? Oh, you must buy one. It's from Amazon. You can get it. I think it's only £16, and it's like a little tube. and it has a battery. You press the battery, open the top, it sucks the bug in, you put the top on, you take it out, and you let it go. Maybe later I bring it up, or next week I bring it up to show you. I use it nearly every day because there's spiders in the house every day, you know. So it's quite nice. You don't even want to hurt them anymore, you know. And something that I would have said years ago without reservation, to be quite honest. This was me many years ago. And then you think, what changed? What changed? Understanding that we're all one. I changed. The world is still the same. So instead of seeing hell everywhere, there's heaven. And like me, we're all the same. We're just all the same. And probably I must have had a noisier mind than most people. So if I can do it, I know everybody can do it. The difference was, my focus was, I really wanted peace more than anything else. And that's the question I ask people. What is your focus? What do you want more than anything else? If you want peace more than anything else, I guarantee you with this practice you'll get it. You know, but if you want something else more physical, you will also get it. But will that bring you peace? People say, I want more money, or I want more this. You can want it, it'll give it to you because as you think it will become in the right way, but will that bring you happiness and peace? And that's the question I keep asking people. No! What will bring you peace finally? Nothing from the outside will. I also tell a story, you know, my family had an apartment in Knightsbridge, and every time I went to London, I'd borrow and say to my uncle, can I stay in your apartment? And there was a caretaker there, and he used to always tell my husband, if I win the football pools, I'll do this, I'll do this, I'll do that. Every week he loved my husband, so he'd go up, Jackie, which numbers should we do? And they used to talk a lot, you know. So he loved my husband, come and have a whiskey with him. And then he actually called us one day. He won the pools. He actually won it. He won £1 million and something pounds. And this is going back 22 years ago. That was a lot of money. He was so excited. I told you should have played with me. It must be I should have played with him. It wasn't meant to be. So anyway, so he was so excited. And he was like, oh, husband, you should have tried. It doesn't matter, darling. It wasn't meant to be. Be happy, be happy. Be happy for him. Anyway, 2 weeks later, he died of a heart attack. It was too much excitement for him. It was too much. It was just way too much excitement for him. His heart couldn't take it. So my husband learned a great lesson. It wasn't my lesson, it was his, I think. Because he goes, oh my God, it was too much for him, wasn't it? Yeah, he couldn't, it was just too much that his actual wish came true. Couldn't handle it. And after that, I wrote a saying, be careful what you wish for. It may just happen. Really be careful. From that experience, I realized, be careful. And then I met somebody else who always wanted a big house, a big house, a big house, and knowing all the right people, and, you know, being in the social side with all the top people. And so nothing wrong with that, but that was her desire, please, please, please. So she told her husband, you know, they lived in an Arab country. She came to Gibraltar to see me at that time. And she goes, I need this house, and these are all the people, all her Congress people to see me, wanted me to give them a yoga class, which I did. I said, don't get so involved, you know, it's not about name and fame. Find some peace. You brought them to find peace, and oh, you're dropping names. I said, I don't care if they had no money. I'd still give you the class. No, you should know who you're being with. I said, I come from a wealthy family. I know all about that stuff. No, you have to, you know, all the time, this one, that one. Never mind. Anyway, she said, I'm going to get this house. So she nagged her husband to build her this beautiful house in an Arab country. It was built. She actually sent me an email, you must come and stay. I'd love for you to come and stay. And I said, no, I can't, I'll come in a few months. Anyway, a few days later, she wrote me, the house had just been completed. Her husband came home from work, sat on the armchair, died of a heart attack. It was just too much for him. And of course, a woman living alone in an Arab country. Her son was in university in London. It's not a right place for a woman. Just isn't. And she had to get rid of the house at any price. She just had to get rid of it. He put everything into it. So really be careful what you wish for. That's the power of the mind. You see, negatively, it can also work. So if you want to be safe, pray for peace. And that means you have everything if you have peace, right? And if you have nothing, at least you're peaceful. That means you're happy. So that is the power of the mind. Know what you want. And then spend your entire life getting that. And that is when you see it so clearly. And this is why when you start this path, they say you need to be very brave, because the world will tell you you're crazy. Peace? Are you mad? You're not searching for fame, fortune. I get told that I don't know how many times a week, right? You do know that. I'm crazy, why don't I charge? I could charge so much, I could make a fortune. I said, yeah, but I'm not here to make a fortune. If I wanted to do that, I could have done with business. I left my business because I was looking for peace. But look how wealthy I am. How did it happen? I don't know. My uncle does this room, my brother does upstairs, my son is going to buy me a new phone. People are so kind. Kangen water. Have you tried Kangen water, by the way? It's really delicious. If you want to have, Audrey is letting me try for a month. So maybe we can bring a jug when they finish, let them all try. It's really very delicious. So, do you know, what I'm saying is everybody starts to look after you when you don't live in fear, because that's life, because we're all up to, when we serve and we're not bothered about things chase us. Now, I didn't believe that 20 years ago. My master always said it. He said, when you stop chasing things, they chase you. And really, this is the way it works. And every time we need some money for a charity, it comes. It just comes. I don't know how to explain to you. I was just telling somebody wanted us to buy some stuff for here, some blocks today. And I said, wait till January, because now our focus is on the hampers and collecting enough for Christmas to get, I think we're now about 10 families that need help. And I'm sure by the time the 14th of December comes, there'll be more. And I said, at the moment we want to at least make the hampers and give each family €100. Because it's the money part that everybody gets so excited about, right? Really, if you don't have anything, you get €100, you become so rich. And that makes you feel really happy. And so, what do I know? Money just starts coming in. Hasn't it? She was saying, Nalanie, how does it go? I thought, I don't know, it just starts coming in, And that's the way it works, right? And Turtle here was telling one of our friends that they were just doing Christmas hampers, and he goes, oh, here's check, give it to the hampers. And how does it happen? I really don't know how to tell you this, but when you work for the benefit of all, and it makes you so happy, things work. And then when people tell me, oh, you're crazy, you could be full, and I go, yeah, I'm crazy. I accept that I'm crazy. I'm proving a point to the world. So I said, when I travel and people invite me, I never create, people say, do you create your retreats? No, I don't. I only go where I'm invited. And I only teach when I've been asked like 100 times. Okay? So anyway, they were saying, I said, when they invite me, I don't charge. I just ask them to cover my petrol and my food. That's it. And I can eat very simply. I'm really happy with a salad or some actually warm vegetables. It's just good for me. So everywhere I go, I'm treated like a princess. I'm treated like a princess. And I go, I couldn't pay for this. If I had to pay for the way I've been treated, I could never pay for it. And it's the peace and the love I get is so much more important than a few pennies. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And really understand Lord Jesus when he says, for what does it benefit a man to gain the whole world at the cost of his soul? I'm not saying money is bad. Money is wonderful. Look, we need so much of it. It's good energy. It's lovely energy. But everything is lovely energy. Don't get attached to any of it. Use it when it comes in the right way. Enjoy, have a massage, enjoy it all. But when it goes, also don't fear it. And then you just play with life like this. Because everything will go one day. Everything. Isn't it a laugh? We get so serious. Sometimes I have to laugh at human nature. We get so serious. Poor me. Oh no, I can't live. You know what? It's all going to go. It's all going to go. You'll be dead. Somebody else will be enjoying all of it anyway. So make hay while the sun shines. Make hay while the sun shines. And that's what you do. And when it doesn't shine, hibernate a bit. Don't get into people's ways. Don't hurt anyone. That is the secret. Don't hurt anyone. No harm to anyone. That's the only thing. No harm to anyone. I don't want to hurt a single soul in this life. This should be a mantra. So with that, I'll finish my talk tonight.